deserve it. Like, there's a way I'm kind of torn on it because I like it, but I don't always like it because our criminal system is so messed up. George Stinney, the guy, the first person who was used capital punishment in South Carolina, black boy. They used the electric chair on him, but then.
And what exactly did he do? What's his name?
George Stinney. Stinney.
Okay. And what exactly did he do?
I cannot remember because I know so many stories. I don't want to put out the wrong story. But I do know
we'll have to look that up.
He was deemed clemency. You know, clemency means that we were wrong for electrifying you. And we say, I'm sorry. 50 years later. Yes, the government came out and said, I'm sorry for electrifying you 50 years ago. But, you know, they can do that because you're not around anymore. You know, it doesn't matter as much. You know, so that's I don't like how it can be used because what if you didn't commit a crime? What if you were like Khalif Browder? You know what I'm saying? You were treated like him.
Right.
And which I believe that is also, they executed him as well, but he suicided himself, but they put him on pills.
Okay.
And anybody know pills can mess up with your mental state.
Right.
So he was gone when they let him out of prison. This is all deep. He committed suicide because they force-fed him meds. And the more I read about his story, the more I see that capital punishment don't have to have nothing to do with the electric chair. All it has to do is just messing with your mind. Once they ruin your mind, you're done with it. You're done. You can't fight it off if you're not strong enough, which I do think he was strong. He did 3 years at Rikers. It's tough to live in there.
Whew.
You can watch the documentary.
Mm.
JC put out a documentary for it. I watched it like 7 times straight. I felt I was missing stuff.
What's the title of that document?
The Khalif Browder story.
Okay, so
on
folks,
Netflix.
you hear that. If any of you are interested in knowing about that story, which sounds like a very interesting story.
Yes. I feel like
please look that up and
but capital punishment.
Check that out.
The capital punishment to me would be good if you did the Jeffrey Dahmers, the Peterson, like the guy who killed his wife and tried to act like somebody else killed her.
Yeah,
send him to the jail. Osama bin Laden. Let's see it live. Let's get. I want to see him go.
What you say? Can we see?
I want to see.
We need some proof.
Yeah, because you say he gone, but we know how the government is. They, the Dallas shooting, an android killed off a man when they normally take people alive. You got to be able to piece these things together. Hey, we need proof. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see a body laying there.
Yeah, well, we know about the government and being lied to.
Yeah.
So, but I do have another question. Do you think that if you commit a crime at 70 years old, should you be sent to jail, or do you think seniors should just get probation?
Hell no. Excuse me. No. No. The people from the Holocaust still getting hauled off in jail. And they old. And you know what they be saying when they go to jail? I was only doing what I was told. Get your silver bracelets. Get your pal. Slap them on. Doing what you're told. You're going to die in here old. Go ahead.
So you're saying no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
If you commit a crime,
I was stealing just to get that bread for my chicken. No, they gonna slap them silver bracelets on us and put a dang on theft charge on us. I mean, they're gonna treat us like we committed a crime. So I believe that an eye for an eye. Whatever you do, there should be repercussions behind it. No exemptions from the law. 70, 80, 90, 110. Wheel you in the daggone bed. Just roll them in jail. Get them in there. Hey, you only got 2 days? Spend them 48 in here. Why not? Why not?
You said it does not matter.
Let's get them arraignment.
Does not matter.
Yeah, let's get them, convict him, please, so that we can see it on his record.
Okay. So, how would anybody, is there resources out there for if anyone who's listening would like to pursue a criminal justice degree? What as far as in our local Hampton Roads area, where would they go? What kind of resources are out there for someone who's pursuing that kind of degree?
Pursuing a particular degree, first, I mean, you got to check your funds. I would not pursue no degree if you did not have no funds. It is a waste of time. I mean, if you have your funds straight, I would check now to see every school that's accredited, because some schools are not accredited. You want to make sure your degree, when they look at it, they don't laugh, because, you know, aka DeVry, you be like, yo, I got this criminal justice DeVry. They're like, yo, put that in the file over there. You know, they don't really want to see it. They be like, ECPI, why is that here? You know, but when you bring up something like a Hampton University, that's more prestige. They know you paid a little bit more money. Everything has something to do with money. Because most people are not valedictorians in their school, so the school matters. And they'll listen to people who've, you know, progressed in society. They be like, yo, I went to St. Joe's, I went to Temple, I went to this. You know, they always say they went to these decent schools. You don't be seeing, most of the time, doctors, dentists, even in our profession that we work at, I went to DeVry. You don't see that on there. You could look all day. I did 8 years at DeVry. I did my med school online. Everything comes from a prestige. You know, they go to the best schools because they don't want to be frowned upon. And the military pretty much don't go for those schools anyway.
Right. Okay.
I believe that people should do those moves and check to see which police departments accept people with bachelors, because you don't have to have a bachelor's to get in the police force. You don't. No. You don't, but it's only for certain fields. What do you need
to have?
Well, in most fields, they're turning it toward a bachelor's, but you can get in there off of who you know. Most jobs allow you in off of who you know. A lot of them say, oh, you got to have a bachelor's, this and this, but who do you know getting the jobs? Because you will apply for them, you'll do the test, you'll go home, and then next thing you know, it's a rat race to see who got it. It's not like you're gonna be there when they get it, but you might get a call, you might not.
Right.
We know now in life, if you don't get a call, that means you ain't got it.
Right. So, you know, and then I know that some people, you know, like there's entertainers who did not go to college, but yet are very successful. Yeah. So maybe, you know, sometimes that, I think that maybe that's not your direct career path, but still strive for, I think you should still strive to work hard and do the best at whatever you decide is your path.
Check this out. And when I was in school, I mean to cut you, but I have to put this out before I forget.
Oh, please. Please.
I was at ODU, which predominantly have some black people, but majority of white people. Okay. And my teacher, I was looking for a class to fill one time, and I took African history.
Okay.
So I was like, great, I'm going to get all this stuff out of African history. You know, that was under the criminal justice degree. I walk in the class, it's all white people. I'm like, okay, how's this going to go? And I'm like, they finna hear about what we went through? Sadly, they didn't. I mean, the teacher told me that the Revolutionary War was to save African Americans. And I just was staring at the ceiling. I was like, that's not true. That's not true. Why would they do that? So after class, she had it in the book. She read it and everything. I said, ma'am, that's not true. I have proof that the slaves were not, the war of the Revolutionary War was not started because of, you know, black people. She was like, how? I said, Hidden Colors. Watch this documentary. Gave it to her. She watched it. She gave it back to me, and I'll never forget what she told me. She said,
and what exactly did she say?
She said, I can't play that in here because I might lose my job. Straight up. No line, no nothing. She told me I cannot play that in here because I would lose my job.
So instead, have a curriculum full of lies that you're telling instead of the truth.
To make the white people feel good. Everything in that book was to make the white people feel good. I'm surprised I didn't run across Christopher Columbus somewhere in that book.
Oh,
I mean, they always put stuff out to make us look like we should be fortunate, like we did nothing in life.
We know that they're still telling, you know, our elementary school kids and middle school and high school, you know, this lie that he discovered America.
Exactly.
We all know
that
he did not. You can't discover a land that's already been discovered. You know, that first and foremost, you can't do that. So I think that's interesting.
It
that
is.
You know,
it is,
and it's of no surprise, you know, that even in it's kind of a surprise because you would think by that point, you know, after high school, by that point, by the time you get in college, that you're going to start to hear some truth.
Oh yeah.
You know, after hearing a lot of lies.
A lot of lies.
And so I think that that's different, you know, just interesting. That
exactly.
Still at this point, you know, that you're still being lied to.
Yes.
So it goes to show that you still, even in college, you still have to do your own research. You have to pick up your books. You have to, you know, if you want to know about your heritage and about your culture, you have to find it.
You have to.
Because there's so much culture. We have so much culture as black people. We have so much history and so much culture that we should be proud to be black. You know, but there's so many black people that don't know. Because why? We aren't taught, you know. You have to do it. You have to do the legwork. Because they're not going to do it for us.
Heck no. The only thing you'll know is I have a dream. And there's only certain parts you want to know about that. You know, and they'd be like Martin Luther King, somebody they hated when he was alive. They don't want you to know. They'll talk a little about Malcolm X. They hated him. They'll talk about Stokely Carmichael. They hated that group and him. So John Truth, they did not like these people. They killed Sir John Truth's friend, you know, and you know, she was a baker, I believe, or a person who sold shoes. I'm trying to get it straight because it was on the document. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I did a document on her,
and she was hung. Her friend was hung.
She was a woman's activist, and you know, she did stand up, and you know, at a time, and you know, slavery at a time where you know it was not easy, definitely to be empowered.
Yes, ma'am. It was not, and that's why it's good that
and
women
to have
do
a
stand
voice.
up.
Being, you know, a runaway slave
at
that, you know, being a runaway slave at that time in 1800s, you know, was not easy to have.
It sounds remarkable. It sounds remarkable the more you speak on that, because I would have trouble driving from Nebraska to New York, let alone walking.
Right, exactly.
Coming from the south to the north.
Exactly. So this just lets you know the strength that we come from. You know what I mean? The strength,
stops,
the perseverance, you know, the drive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're definitely right.
We are just fighters, and we are determined, and we're strong. It's just in us. You know, that we get knocked down, but what do? We get right back up. We get right back up, and we keep going, you know? And, I pride my life on that, you know, that I might get knocked down. There might be doors shut, you know, in my face, but I'm still going to knock those doors down, and I'm still going to keep on going, and I'm still going to strive for what I believe in and what I want to do in life.
And that's wonderful.
Which is this. Interview such great people like you, Chris. So,
I also wanted to say this. This is from a white person.
Okay.
So his name was George Orwell. It's a quote. When I heard it in college, it stuck with me. Then I heard it on Facebook, and it came around again. It was, if you don't write well, you won't read well. And if you don't read well, then you won't think well. And if you don't think well, then someone will do the thinking for you. Just deep. It's all the way deep.
I really like that. I like it so much. I want you to say it again. Say it again for our listeners.
It is, if you don't write well, then you don't read well. If you don't read well, then you don't think well. And if you don't think well, someone will do the thinking for you. I'm telling you, very deep.
That is deep.
And that's how society treats you. It's no, I don't know, I'm going to help you. You have to learn. You have to want. And you have to watch how people take things when you do learn. Everything's out there for you now. They don't hide it too much from out there. You could go to the library and learn everything you want to learn. They don't need to hide it that much, because they know if you share it with other people, they don't want to hear it. That's the thing. You learning something, everybody else conditioned. You're coming at this different. You didn't learn it. So now that them not knowing it, it's going to be hard for them to digest it. You didn't already digested it. It's hard to spring something new on somebody when they already know one thing. They're like, hey, don't talk about that now. That's going to mess everything up. I'm good where I'm at. No, people don't want to hear that. They be like, oh, I'm used to watching CNN. That's where I get my news from. You can also, like you said, do your own research. You don't have to